Hey youth, I'm Jake. Today we are finishing up Jesus the series. I'm glad you're here. Let's get started. What is the craziest thing you've ever seen? The craziest thing I've ever seen was a magic trick. I was at a summer camp and this kid pulled out a deck of cards and he was like, okay, pick a card. So I picked a card and I knew what he was gonna do. He's gonna do some sleight of hand, something, look over here while I do something over here, right? And I knew it was gonna happen. And I pull out my card, I write my name on it, I put it back into the deck, and he does all kinds of crazy things. He shuffles the cards around, he takes the cards, he eats them, puts them in a ball and throws them across the room, mails them across the country. He did all these things. There's no way that he was going to pull out my card. But lo and behold, the end of the trick, he pulls out my card and I lost it. I didn't know what to do. I ran out of the room I was in. I ran out of the building and I never came back. I never went back to that summer camp. In the life of Jesus, a lot of crazy things happened. He healed people, he cast out demons, he walked on water, and he stopped storms. But unlike some sleight of hand trick, Jesus' miracles were real. And today, we're going to talk about the craziest thing that he ever did, and it happens right after he died on the cross. Let's take a look. But very early on Sunday morning, the women went to the tomb, taking the spices they had prepared. So Jesus died on the cross and has been buried in his tomb for 3 days. And some of the female disciples are bringing spices to his body. Now this might sound pretty weird, but back in that day, that was part of the mourning and burial process. They found out that the stone had been rolled away from the entrance, so they went in, but they didn't find the body of the Lord Jesus. So this is probably the part of the story that you're familiar with. We're all familiar with the big stone in front of Jesus' tomb, and now it's been rolled away, and these women are totally confused. They expected to find Jesus' body there, and there's nothing to be found. As they stood there puzzled, 2 men suddenly appeared to them, clothed in dazzling robes. All right, so now the story gets really weird. 2 random guys in dazzling robes just show up, and the women are even more confused. The women were terrified and bowed their faces to the ground. Then the men asked, "Why are you looking among the dead for someone who is alive? He isn't here. He is risen from the dead. Remember what he told you back in Galilee, that the Son of Man must be betrayed into the hands of sinful men and be crucified, and that he would rise again on the 3rd day." Jesus had risen from the dead, exactly as he had promised he would do. And this is important because it shows us what his mission is. But why did he do it? To answer that, we have to look at what our real problem is. Our biggest problem is sin. Sin is any time we choose our way instead of God's way. And the truth is, you're probably not the worst person that you know. But that doesn't change the fact that we all have sin. It doesn't matter how big or small, sin is always going to separate us from God. The resurrection shows us that Jesus is our only hope for salvation. To be accepted by God, we need to be perfect, and we already know that we can't do that. That's why Jesus came to save us. He lived a perfect life because he is God in the flesh. He died on the cross and was raised to life, proof that he was God. And he did this for our sake, in order to take our place. And here's the last thing that we need to know, that Jesus saves us through faith. The proper response to Jesus is belief. It's not enough to just know that these things happened. But when we really believe in who he is and what he's done, then we are truly saved.